In her small apartment, Ute Margreff is preparing for her daily dive. For many years, she has lived on a stud farm on the Irish coast, without ever really having an interest in horses. Ute is heading for the seaside. Her diving site is just a short walk away. Purposefully, she heads for a remote inlet, which, like so many in Ireland, is deserted. But this bay has a secret. In the year 2000, a dolphin turned up here unexpectedly and stayed. The fisherman christened the female Mara, the Gaelic word for sea. Since that time, Ute has accompanied Mara in all the different seasons, probably the only human who voluntarily spends up to 7 hours at a time in the cold waters of the Atlantic. Every meeting begins with an extensive greeting ritual. Normally, dolphins live in groups or pods. Ute will probably never know why some dolphins, like Mara, get separated from their families and seek contact with humans. Over the years, an unusual and close relationship has developed between Ute and Mara. This unconventional behavior is great good fortune for the scientist, who can thus accompany Mara in her underwater world. For Ute, the excursions with Mara are a unique opportunity to explore the underwater world through a dolphin's eyes. For hours, Mara shows her human companion around her realm of seaweed and rock. Boredom is a foreign concept. She wants to explore and discover everything. But Mara's sociability is not to everyone's liking. A young spider crab evades her approach by means of camouflage. The craggy Irish coast is lobster country, and sometimes the lobster fishermen get some unexpected company. Mara has attached herself to one of the boats. Curious, she follows the line down to the lobster pods. Lobsters can live as long as 100 years. If they don't succumb to the irresistible smell of fish from the lobster pots. This lobster throws caution to the winds and seals its own fate. Whether intentionally or by chance, thanks to Mara's intrusiveness, this is one lobster that won't be eaten tonight. Her presence confuses the crustacean, which promptly beats a retreat. Mission accomplished, Mara moves on. She isn't the only solitary dolphin on the Irish coast. Ute Margreff visits the little port of Dingle. Once a sleepy fishing village, after the unexpected appearance of a dolphin in 1983, the place has changed beyond recognition. Fungi, as the dolphin was named, became a star and the pride of Dingle.
Do not stand on the outer decks. Well, thank you, Luke, for listening to the safety announcement, and we hope you enjoy your trip. Thank you.
People come from all over the world to see Fungi the dolphin, who for many of the fishermen has become a good source of income. But what if one day he fails to show up? At the moment, however, Fungi appears as regular as clockwork. No other dolphin has stayed so long among humans without a break. Uta's own life is closely linked to that of Fungi. He was her first great dolphin love, as it were, and the reason that she has stayed in Ireland. Fungi decides when the show is over. When he's had enough, he disappears. Where to, no one knows. On the Irish coast, as so often in this part of the Atlantic, a storm is raging. The force of the wind lashing land and sea is overwhelming. For Mara, the huge waves are no problem. Effortlessly, she glides through the rough sea. At some point, even the mightiest storm blows itself out. At the moment, it's still dangerous to dive, but Uta knows that right now, a lot of interesting things are going on underwater. There's also a lot for Mara to discover after the storm. Interesting flotsam accumulates on the coast. This cap now has a new owner. Mara not only seems to know what the object is, but also what it's for. She greets Uta with her new acquisition. The dolphin watches with interest what Uta does with the strange object. And the scientist has to ask herself once again, who is studying whom? After further examination, Mara loses her interest in the hat and turns to other things. Uta has been away for a few days and is wondering if Mara is still in her bay. On her way there, she passes numerous other lonely inlets that could appeal to Mara. But the dolphin is already waiting for Uta, who has come with a friend who's a fisherman.
Hallo. Take deep breath and go.
Mara heads for an undulating underwater garden. Hundreds of kinds of algae in all shapes and colors grow off the coast of Ireland. Some, like the spaghetti-like thongweed, are tasty and nutritious. Brown and red algae, too, are food for many sea dwellers. But Mara isn't here because she's hungry. She brings Ute a piece of bladderwrack. Then she appears to ask for it back. The scientist understands that Mara wants a peeling massage. This is somewhat of a sensation, as the use of tools by dolphins was only recently discovered by scientists. Mara shows that dolphins are capable of quite different feats. She can't use the tool herself and instead asks Ute to help her, an anticipatory act of planning, usually seen as a human characteristic. After the massage, Mara swims purposefully to the fishing boat. Although they've known each other for some time, up until now, dolphin and fisherman have kept a respectful distance. Often, one fleeting contact is enough to break the ice.
Was that the first time you touched the dolphin?
Yeah, the very first time. I couldn't believe it. Because before I seen him go with the boat was absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe it. I'm just waiting to tell my family when I go home. They won't believe it.
Another dolphin has achieved fame and fortune here. For 2 years, Dougie visited the little port of Tory in the north of Ireland. For Ben, the ferryman's dog, it was love at first sight. As soon as Dougie appeared in the harbour, Ben rushed to join him. As long as it stayed underwater, the dolphin was invisible to Ben, as the dog cannot dive. Nevertheless, the pair seem to enjoy their game of hide and seek. At first, the locals thought the dolphin might be sick and asked Ute for help. The two scrutinized each other closely. Dolphins perceive their environment especially clearly via sound. Using various click sounds, Dougie scanned Ute carefully. Ute was able to reassure the inhabitants of Tory that their dolphin was young, healthy, and especially curious, just like Ben. She assumed that Dougie had come across Ben by chance in the harbour and they'd been playmates ever since. She also thought it possible that Dougie would disappear again as suddenly as he appeared. As things turned out, she was right. After 2 years, Dougie stopped showing up, and no one knows if he will ever return. Ireland became Ute Margreif's new home, where she pursues the study of solitary dolphins with passion and dedication.